Oh, hello.
Oh,
It's been a minute. It's been a freaking
really has.
minute. It has.
but honestly, it's okay that it's been a minute.
I appreciate that. I need to hear that sometimes.
Yeah, man, it's okay. It's all right. I'm glad you went on a vacation.
It's the same, dude. That vacation was the fucking best. Oh my God. I absolutely adored it. I loved it. It was amazing. I don't think anyone forgot about me. I do feel like I feel like that is like a little bit of an internal fear that I kind of also have, where like if I'm not constantly streaming or working, that I will be taking a massive like financial hit, because people will then be like unsubscribes, unfollows Patreon, memberships from YouTube, because they're like, well, I guess he quit. I guess he's never coming back.
He's dead to me.
Kinda, a little bit. That is kind of how I feel like it works sometimes.
Damn, that's kind of nutty.
I mean, I feel like that's the curse of the streamer. You know what I mean? Where you're just kind of like, well, fuck it. I guess people are gonna forget. People are gonna fucking forget. Happy Midsummer to you. I don't know what Midsummer is, but I saw a lot of people in my community wishing people Midsummer.
For sure, it's a pagan thing.
Is it a pagan thing?
For sure, it's a pagan thing.
All right, pagan conversation. 1 minute in, let's
If I'm
go.
incorrect,
What is?
I shrug my shoulders.
What is Midsummer? Also known as the summer solstice, is a holiday that celebrates the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. It's tradition. It's a time of festivities and traditions in many European countries, particularly in Scandinavia, where it's a major celebration. So I don't think it's a pagan. I think it's definitely. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe Google's giving me the non-pagan answer. Maybe that is what it is. Good Midsummer to you.
I didn't realize we're in the summer solstice already.
Dude, it's June. Dude, it's June 20th.
To be fair, there was a point in time where it felt like this year was kind of slow, and then I blinked, and then it's already the middle of the year.
Dude, I went on vacation and was like, where did June go? Where did my month?
Yeah, man.
Where did my month of June go? Oh my God.
Oh.
Absolute insanity. I'm already trying to get reviews done for Fiendish Forge so we can get it out. I keep going into it. I'm like, I can make it better. 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 And I'm like, that's it. I'm done. This is it. We're it. This is it. We got to release it. It's got to come out. It's got to come out at some point in time.
Get it out of here. No.
Well, I mean, like we got Kel Fallen coming up. We got the campaign book, or the adventure module for the last chapter of Shadow's Breach. That's we're gonna start working on. Like, dude, I gotta get. We got the cooking book that I really want to start working on here shortly. Got IO5E. What am I doing? What the fuck am I? Why do I keep doing this to myself? I'm literally listening to all these books.
Another book for the pile. Another book for the pile.
3 of which I haven't even started yet, and I'm just like, oh my God.
I can't wait to start cooking.
Same. I think it'll be a good book.
I can't wait.
I was poking my writing team with IO Publishing. They dropped a lot of really great ideas, including things, obviously farming. I think animal husbandry would be really good. I think if we got some hunting in there, that'd be really good. We were talking about festivals.
Oh
yeah, I think that'd be good. Talking about
like a festival book, like that'd be badass.
Not a fest. No, I mean as part of the cooking book, where like festivals specifically with like all the food and stuff like that.
Oh shit!
So the cooking book would have farming and hunting and animal husbandry and festivals and anything food related that you can then bring into your tabletop world.
Okay.
And if we can, I mean, it'll definitely have some 5e/D&D origins, but I definitely think the system and the ideas in the book can be used in any system, really. You know what I mean? Like you want to bring it in and do what you want. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm excited for it, but I'm also trying my best not to think too much about it. so I don't, lose my fucking mind as I'm getting.
Just a little.
Just a smidgen, dude. Just a smidgen. Just a tiny itty bitty little bit,
Yeah, bad. Yeah, bad.
I just very much want to get Phoenix. I'm excited for where Phoenix Forge is right now. Big shout out to Blog of Holding, who actually worked out the numbers, and I've been working with those numbers on like monster making for 2024 5e/D&D. And for the most part, it does work. There's a lot of finagling you have to do. Not a lot, but I mean, there's, if you adjust the numbers correctly, it works. It does work for 2024.
Okay.
I worked in a very comprehensive spreadsheet to make creatures, and that actually has helped out a ton, where I could be like, yeah, drop if we, I have this many points to spend. If I drop the hit points down by 30% and raise the damage by 20%, and I raise the attack by this value, I've got a point buy system essentially for monster creation that I'd love to release to everyone here soon. But also like traits like legendary resistances. The biggest thing is damage resistance and damage vulnerability. I feel like they've definitely shifted or changed it in 2024 D&D. But, since they never posted how you make creatures, I don't know.
You bastard.
I don't know. So we're going to do the best we can. And I think I'm going to go into it letting people know, like, I think you're going to get really close with this system. I think you're going to feel pretty confident with it. I definitely...
go close to accurate as you can get.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about it. I think the biggest change for me was damage resistances and damage immunities and vulnerabilities and how exactly you should calculate that in. And so I've got like, I think I've got a system where like, because in 2024 D&D got rid of non-magical resistances. So
really,
yes. So if something has it's bludgeoning, slashing, piercing resistance, there's no such thing as from a non-magical. It's just that. And honestly, I kind of prefer that. I do think when you throw in like, oh, you need to use a magical weapon, it does kind of complicate it because they really don't instruct how to find magical weapons, but also like if you're a low magic campaign, how exactly will that, and so it works that it's just a flat whatever. And I think that's fine. So yeah, it does make things a little easier when you're like, we've got now like these kind of like, in my calculation at least, you've got these common resistances, which is bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Okay.
And you've got uncommon resistances, which is everything else. And from there, you can kind of like reduce a creature's hit points based off. This is my system, by the way, of like making a creature.
Yeah.
You reduce instead of like trying to figure out like challenge rating levels, like, oh, it's an offensive CR6, but I decided, nah, fuck that. Everything's a point buy. Certain abilities will reduce maximum hit points from the creature if you have it. And also resistances will also reduce a maximum hit points by a specific percentage, essentially. And then we'll actually outline how much to reduce in like a table or something like that. So I still need to write it all out. But it is something that I would like to release to the communities at large, and that way they have a tool set to sort of like make their own creatures. And again, Blog of Holding, check it out if you haven't already for our 5e heads in the audience. It's a pretty good. It's not super detailed, but at the same time, I feel like it works for what it is because it's a very simple, straightforward way on like how to make a creature and like little adjustments you can make here and there, and that's it. And for the most part, it'll never be perfect to what how D&D does it, but I also feel like D&D is pretty wishy-washy with their rules. I've said this before, like, I think that's why they didn't release the toolkit, because it's so fucking wishy-washy,
Correct. We can't actually give you this because even we ourselves don't know.
Yeah, and we're just kind of winging it as we go along. Dude, I got to like the treant, right? Because we were working on the ancient, I'm working on the the reworked version of the ancient treant for Phoenix Forge. And I was looking at the numbers and I was like, Jesus Christ, this makes no fucking sense. Because of the resistances, it has bludgeoning, slashing resistances, but has fire vulnerability. So I'm like, is it like a 2-to-1 where like it kind of negates itself? But then I noticed the damage of the Treant seems to be pretty low compared to a creature of CR9. So I was like, maybe, so I ended up figuring it out with the system that I built, thankfully, but it's a lot of that. It's a lot of just finagling the numbers and just being like, what the fuck did they do? And and I am kind of afraid that if you're working with D&D's numbers specifically, you're never going to get it right because, again, I don't even think they know what they're doing with it at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. TLTR, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We're fixing it, but we don't know what the fuck's wrong with them.
It's, I mean, I'm not going to get into this rant that I've done 20 times about how they took away a lot of these tool sets out of like, I think to like minimize the competition of someone taking systems and then working on it, but also to make the claim like, oh yeah, first party's always going to have the best monsters. And it's like, no, not really. I mean, not to be an egotistical prick, I do feel like I've made some good encounters and some good creatures and monsters and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like I've done pretty good for myself.
Nice.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
What's happening? I recently discovered that my webcam has a swivel. And
it is slowly rotating.
I know. I fucking know. So, but it's whatever. I'm glad it's all out in the fucking SR. I'm glad it's all out now. Is it still swiveling? Motherfucker. Yes. Motherfucker.
He's getting further away. Oh, good heavens.
Oh my God. Dude, is there like a screw? Oh, there is a screw here. Okay. Hold on one second.
Ooh, gotta tighten it.
Yeah, that's what's happening. I don't think there is supposed to be a swivel. I think
Look at this close up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. I'm like,
you can count every hair.
Shut up. Dude, the little pin fucking like fell in so deep I can't get to the screwing in part. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, that's close enough. Fuck that. For our non-webcam viewers, which is all of you. I mean, one day I would like for us to like edit and make some like quick little like tidbits and videos to post on the channel with our webcam. I think that would be pretty sick.
I figured you were already doing that.
I mean, no, I was doing that on like the Patreon. I'm talking about like on our channel, on the Dumpster Delvers YouTube channel itself.
Oh, okay.
So like if we're doing like an Am I the Asshole, or if we're doing like a TTRPG horror story, I think that'll be.
Watch me rack my brain as I go. Well, clearly she hit the kid in front of everybody. So is she the asshole?
But Reddit hates children.
That's right. Watch me do my Sherlock Holmes investigation.
Oh, wait a second. Reddit also hates women. Wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
This is a hard one. Common sense says she's the asshole, but
but
Reddit,
people might say, hit them kids. So like.
Moving out that topic before
that's an epic callback, by the way, in case you were.
I'm sweating. I'm just like, please don't make my editing job even harder.
It's gonna be a long 6-second string of beeps.
Beep 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 beep. Dude, if you ever get to a point where you're making a session so dog shit, you know what I mean, with like the things, the hot takes you're saying, I'm just gonna have you edit it. I'm gonna be like, you edit it. I can't do this anymore.
And I go, okay, and I you get like get some like high school like slide filters and shit, like things that don't even need to be in it, but like I make like transitions when I'm saying stuff. And I go, yeah, man, here you go, and I hand it back to you, and it's somehow twice as big. The file size.
Dude.
Why?
I'm trying to think of what our Super Gold chat should be today, because I do have a fun story, but I don't know if it's YouTube friendly. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Well, hold on. Let me.
I still have my shitty DM story.
You sure? Ooh. Crown tells his super shitty DM story. No. How do we phrase this? Because I don't want to say super shitty DM. Makes it sound like you were the shitty DM. Crown tells his shitty DM player experience. How's that sound? Does that work?
There you go.
Okay, that worked. All right, guys. On the YouTube side, we're starting to go 10 super chats with $5 minimum buy-ins. If we get to the 10 chats, Crown will tell his shitty DM story of his experience of a shitty DM. Not him being the shitty DM. Yeah. Also for the YouTube. Yeah. Oh, yikes. That is never good. Also on the YouTube side, sometimes the goals take a little bit to update. Do note that we do see when you do super chat, so don't fret if you don't see the goal update immediately. In worst case scenario, we'll just update it over time as well. So I'll manually. So it should be a good time. A good time. Speaking of good times, did you know that we have a Patreon? Patreon.com/dumpsterdelvers. The Into the Dumpster has been really fucking fun. We talk about things that Papa YouTube probably would not want us talking about. So if you're looking for a uncensored, unbridled, Into the Dumpster experience, make sure you join us on the $10 tier of Dumpster Delvers. And if you get to the $20 tier, you'll actually see the live show where you'll actually see our lovely webcams and faces as we cut everything up. And thank you to everyone who has joined our Patreon so far. It has been greatly appreciated. Dude, yeah. I have not been talking a lot since vacation, and I'm finding my throat getting sore very easily now because of this.
Hey, you gotta like catch up.
I gotta like hone the throat a little bit. I gotta fucking work the throat muscles. Jesus Christ. Because I'm also going, maybe I'm going too loud, and but yeah, it's very good. It's very good. So, but absolutely, go ahead and follow us on YouTube, follow us on Patreon, do all that shit. Man, Crowned, it was a fucking crazy week this week in the TTRPG sphere, wasn't it?
Dude, it was nonstop. Every time I checked Twitter, it was like, guess what?
Wait. Are you talking about for one day? Specifically for the one day, or has it been all week? Because I think
well, not for the whole week, but for like several days back to back.
Okay, because yeah, I know the two biggest news in the TTRPG space. By the way, the two biggest parts. The two biggest news things that happened was Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins officially announcing that they are part of Darrington Press, which is Critical Role's publishing house, for Daggerheart, which is insane. I mean, like, the rumor mill was milling, as it were. This is what was going to happen. I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And then I saw it, and then I believed it, and went, oh my. And
oh, good heavens.
And of course, me and my little gremlin self couldn't help it. I had to immediately go onto Twitter, be like, but what did D&D say? And they save face. Yeah, we're like, yeah, the kobold's out of the bag. We wish them well. They left us. It's okay.
Thank you. I'm glad that you're leaving to such a great company.
Fuck. And then
why are you saying that with the vein bulging in your forehead?
Yeah, man. What's the fucking problem?
What's up with that,
man? What's going on, man? Why are you shaking? Why is your face red when you're saying congratulations for such a dramatic shift? I have yet to play Daggerheart. Have you played or read or done anything? I feel like
brother, I'm doing Starfinder stuff right now.
Oh,
so.
I'm aware, but I didn't know if you were curious, as to like, you know, what or why, or like if you were curious like how the system worked or read through it. I haven't. I feel like I should, so I can actually talk about it with like some knowledge behind it. I'm hearing. I think I'm hearing positive reviews. I was gonna say mixed, but I can't tell because I feel like a lot of the people who are coming in saying boo this system, boo, were already like not fans of Critical Role or just hated Critical Role or thought they were like overrated to begin with. So I don't know if their opinion is actually valid. I've heard from one source that it tries to be a game system, but also a narrative device, and it really doesn't lean one way or another. I hear there's some sort of like interchangeable like abilities and stuff like that, which also sounds pretty neat and pretty cool.
I've heard that it's pretty freeform. Like it's a lot more like DM fiat.
Yeah.
Kind of rule of cool stuff.
And like, I don't know, like freeform's good, but I also feel like you kind of need a little structure with that so that people aren't like speaking over each other or people aren't trying to like, you know, so, but from what I hear, you know, they have some interesting stuff. It sounds like they've got maybe a little bit of like 4E things in there that remind me of that. So one of these days, well, specifically like the abilities and stuff. I don't know. I do feel like I should look into it at the very least to really just get my thoughts and be like, oh, this is what I like, what I don't like, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really interesting that Critical Role is sort of like going in and doing this. They know they've had their publishing house, you know, and yeah, so I'm curious. I'm very curious. Everyone has a thought, everyone has opinion, and it's very hard to discern, you know, people who are just fans of Critical Role, people who hate Critical Role, and an actual neutral opinion of the system itself. You know what I mean? I think that's...
Yeah, you're always going to get very opinionated people kind of stepping into the conversation.
I do feel like whenever someone tends to like criticize Critical Role or says something, someone else will step forward to kind of like defend their honor a little bit, you know? And I'm just like, I don't know if, you know, I personally don't like that. I mean, but I don't like that on both ends, because I also feel like people will hate a system specifically because of where it's from, or if people, you know, people who really like it will just want to brag about it. It's very challenging. It's very difficult. And it's something that I know we've talked about before when we spoke about like the creator orbit of the D&D space. And it's very hard to tell when someone is being genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very difficult because that is the one thing about content creators, not slamming anyone when I say this. It's a very self-interest space, you know, like people are going to look out for their own interests, because you kind of have to, you know, if you're going to survive in the space. You have to look out for yourself, especially when you're making your own income, making your own money. You don't want to like break the bank or go broke or things like that. So it's an interesting space, and I know we've talked about that a couple of times, but I think it's same as well when you've got content creator made content, you know. Daggerfall does look interesting, but also I feel like I'm jaded with everything, so I don't know if there's ever going to be a system that I go, this is it, this is the peak.
Well, I feel like we're both kind of in that boat, because I would say that we're both also opinionated. We both have our biases. Like, yes. I don't know if I could roll into a system. Like, I don't know if I could roll into a system without having, unless they were like from somebody brand fucking new. Like, they entered the sphere from nowhere, have never been heard of from before, and they go, here's our system. And we all go, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you? Where'd you come from? I think that's the only way that could happen. If you've been in this like sphere for long enough, everybody has an opinion of you.
Yeah.
Like you can't come at you like you're gonna meet somebody who's brand new to the sphere, and their friends are gonna be like, "Dude, Critical Role is awesome," or "Dude, Critical Role is dog shit," and that immediately transforms your opinion before you even get to experience
it. Yeah. And I think that also sucks, but also at the same time, like, I mean, there's so much you can and can't do when it comes to that. You're not going to win everyone's opinion. And sometimes people are just going to have unfair opinions of you as well. And that's just something you kind of deal with. And you hope that the majority of people like what you do over the minority that don't. Yeah, the biggest thing I see here with Daggerheart, it's a collaborative, narrative-focused tabletop role-playing game where players build vibrant worlds and embark on a heroic adventure. I see there's duality dice. Players roll 2d12s, one representing hope, the other one representing fear. Hope and fear. The higher die determines success, hope, or failure, fear. Successful rolls with a hope grants the player a hope resource, while a fear gives the GM a fear token. Hope can be spent to aid future rolls for the players and their allies, while fear can be spent by the GM to escalate challenges. That's okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Where you kind of, okay. I'm assuming it sounds like a hope and fear check, or like, roll your hope die, roll your fear die. If you roll higher on the fear, I get a little freebie. If you roll higher on the hope, I kind of like that. A card system. Cards represent characters' backgrounds, abilities, and provide options for gameplay, adding depth and dynamism to character development. And that kind of strikes me as 4E a little bit. 4E, even though they didn't really have a card-based system, you know, I do feel like you could do that with 4E as well. So that's interesting. Like, obviously, it's a rules light system, which I think works well for the Critical Role audience, personally.
Yeah. It's probably good for streaming.
I think it's good for streaming. Because I do feel like people who have gotten into Critical Role and played D&D kind of play it as a narrative device more than an actual game system. We've talked about that before, you know, so and that's where I think Critical Role and Daggerheart's really gonna fly, you know, is I think it caters specifically for the audience they've built over these years. It was very surprising to see Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford a part of this system now, and I'm curious to see what they're going to build and how they're going to build it.
Their additions to it,
yeah. I mean, they may have. I don't know. Maybe they've already have additions. I'm not entirely certain, but I'd be very curious to see how they kind of build upon that. And meanwhile, on the Wizard side of thing, day of when Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins announced that they were now part of Daggerheart and Darrington Press, fucking Todd Kenrick, who was like the head of content, you know, who made like all the video content, who interviewed all the designers, announced that he was laid off from Wizards of the Coast that day. And you're just rubbing your temple going, what the fuck?
I just love the idea of them being like, wow, congrats to Chris Perkins and all of them. And WotC CEO walks by and goes, what the fuck did you just say? You're fired.
It's like, get the fuck out.
Well, sure, I'm working on several projects right now. It's like, I don't give a shit. Get out.
Yeah, it is very, like, I wish Todd well. I didn't interact when I was at the summit. I didn't really interact with him too much. He seemed like a nice guy. It's gonna be weird because I don't know if you've actually seen like the videos that have recently been posted over on like the D&D YouTube and stuff like that. It feels very content creator-esque, you know what I mean?
Oh. Interesting.
a bunch of like I don't know these people that are there, and they're talking about Arms of Agathis, and they're talking about weapons mastery, and like there's people on webcams talking about this shit, and I don't know exactly if they're like, oh, we don't need a content head of content, we can just have randos do it, and I'm not entirely certain. I mean, at the same time, this does not surprise me. D&D and Wizards of the Coast have they abandoned so much on the YouTube side of things. There's so many because they were doing like D&D. They were trying to do like D&D shows for a while, and then they stopped doing it. I can't speak on behalf of Joe, Mr. Joe Fudge, but I know that he had his show he was running for a while that I think was funded by D&D and yeah, but I mean that fell through, and I know I've known people in D&D WotC operated shows that have just been like, yeah, it just randomly ended because Wizards of the Coast was just like, no thanks, like we're not going to continue, this isn't doing what we need, and it's and yeah, and so it's very interesting.
That's kind of nutty.
Yeah, and like I don't want to speak out of turn, especially with Mr. Joe Fudge's show, because he did do that. But I definitely was at the impression of like, I don't think I ever want Wizards of the Coast to touch like my show, or be like, like, hey, would you do a show for us? And it's like, hey, do you have a contract for me where you're going to pay X amount and I'm going to do X amount of episodes? Because I'm not budging, Yeah. If we're not going to get all that ironed and straightened out right off the beginning, So I don't know. It's, again, I have said this so many times now, like it's Wizards of the Coast is a business operation. And like, it's all business, right? It's all business operations. We all have done businesses, et cetera, et cetera. But like with WotC is like the epitome of that. Like I see it as a business first and a creative outlet second. Like I feel like you could focus on the creative side of things and then make that into a business. But as long as you keep the creative first, I think you'll tend to do well with that. But Wizards is so transparently business first that I was saying like, I used to know a lot of people at Wizards of the Coast. Now I know one community manager. That's it. Everyone else is gone. Everyone else was laid off. There wasn't a person who's like, yeah, I quit to do that. No. I mean, besides
you're fired.
Jeremy Crawford and, and Chris Perkins. But, I'm tinfoil hat. Did they leave? Did they leave on their own accord? Or was Wizards like, all right, so listen.
I still like my hope maxing. I still like you give the people the SRD like you promised, and we'll stay through for your project.
Big hope maxing.
After that, I'm gone.
Dude, I would not be surprised if they were silently let go and then said, as part of the agreement, like, you can't say shit. You can't say that we let you go, because if
tarnish our reputation.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Wizards was announcing that they were letting go their like top creative director and their top game designer, like, holy shit, like, dude, that would be such a terrible look for them. So I wouldn't be surprised they're like, okay, we're done with you. We're paying you too much. We want to try and do something new. So
get out.
Yeah. And as part of the agreement, you can't talk about this. We won't talk about this. We're going to do some friendly, it's very interesting that people haven't been given like gag orders, you know what I mean? Or that people haven't been from Wizards of the Coast been like, okay, you're being laid off, but you can't, if you want this severance package, you can't say this shit, you know what I mean?
Can't say shit.
Or maybe there is no severance package, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, say what you want, we're gonna be fine. It's just,
talk all that shit.
Something. Again, I'm gonna say it again. I am going to say it again. Something's going on, and I don't think we've seen the full grasp of it yet.
That'd be spicy as hell.
Something's happening. I genuinely think something's happening with over at specifically at the D&D side of things. Something's up. Something's a brewing. Something's a shifting. Something's a changing. And I'm thinking we'll probably. And I said this before. Like maybe in like a year or so, I think we'll see it. I don't know. I don't know what the. I don't know if they're just doing cost cutting.
I'd be super interested to see if it's like the worst case scenario, because I still think they're gonna eventually just sell it off. That's still my big thing, is that they're eventually just gonna sell it off to some gambling corporation or some nefarious company.
I see them,
and then they just cut ties and they go print magic cards forever.
I don't think we're there yet. You know, I think D&D is still doing well enough that to sell such a valuable asset probably wouldn't be worth it. I do see them licensing it though to these terrible corporations that you are speaking about. I do see them licensing D&D to makes up a little bit of extra dosh, you know.
We get some like D&D like gotcha game that like affects your D&D Beyond and stuff like that.
Oh yuck! I don't. Yeah, dude. We're gonna see there. I know they're biding their time. We are gonna see an AI DM. We're gonna.
Oh
see,
yeah, baby. 100%.
Like
100.
Right now, people are just pissed off about AI, but also I feel like people like the fight against AI is just kind of dwindling a little bit. Like you're still going to be disappointed, but I feel like AI I feel like AI has been accepted as just a fact of life at this point.
The issue is that it's so pervasive that you become exhausted.
Yeah.
Trying to rally against it. Because if you're like, I hate generative AI, and then you go to Google or you go to Pinterest or something, and it's 900,000 pages of AI images where you could pick out maybe one or two pictures that are not AI, or even worse, it's all AI because generative AI has gotten even fucking better than it was a year ago, to a point where it's almost impossible on some art pieces to tell unless you're actually an artist.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere. And that's what sucks, because it's either you burn yourself out on both ends of the wick trying to fight it, or you just go, fuck it.
You just accept it. And I want to be clear, when I say you accept AI as a part of life, that doesn't mean that you have to like it, or that,
not at all.
You build it as part of like a business model. Like our business model will always be people first, which means our stuff's going to take a little bit longer than someone else who can now spit out a book in probably the easiest amount of time. And I that is the, Mark Holmes was talking about this a while back in a stream, where it's like, dude, why even bother? Like, why even bother to make something and put your heart and soul into it when someone else can just type a couple of prompts and then just make a thing and then sell the thing on like Facebook or something? And like, I understand that, but I don't think I feel like by continuing to put your foot down and say, we're not using AI, it's just not going to be done. And I also feel like the TTRPG community and the D&D community don't want to use it, don't want to deal with AI. Definitely don't want to purchase AI content made with AI, because like why bother? Like why do that? When I could just do the same thing, or I could be like, okay, your book was made with AI. Okay. All right. The scariest thing, we're actually going to talk probably about this more inside the dumpster, because world events are terrifying right now. But we're gonna save that for our inside the dumpster episode, so we don't bring politically heavy topics into the live show. But I do know I do remember hearing about one of these bills being passed is going to include like you can't regulate AI for 10 years.
Yeah.
And
that
to me is, from a creative standpoint, that to me is scary because I feel like in 10 years time, we will get to a point of no return. And by the time it is regulated, it'll be just so far too late at that point. I'm not talking about like, Terminator robots fucking killing us. I'm talking about like, we're like, hey, don't make, don't fucking, use AI for nefarious purposes.
Correct.
Or like if you do make a product with AI, you have to proclaim this was made with generative AI, and there should be some, but I don't know. I have no idea. And so it's interesting, we're entering an interesting time. I have to admit, out of shame, that I've seen a lot of like AI videos with the new Google VO, and they're like meme funny videos, and they're funny. They're good. They're good.
Oh, I mean, I laugh at like the AI videos and stuff.
I used to laugh at it because it was AI, but now you're just kind of like, holy shit! Like this looks like an actual video. This looks like an actual video someone shot and recorded. It's so fucking insane.
Admittedly, one of my favorite AI videos at all isn't really a video. It's a song. It's a country song about a cowboy getting his nuts stuck in the door. And it's funny as fuck. It is so. It's literally one of my favorite. Like,
I have to look that up. We're cooked.
I'll send it to you. I have it saved. It's so good.
Oh, send it to me. That sounds hilarious. Oh my god. I would much rather. If I had the choice between watching an AI video and watching Will Smith's new music video, I like Girls or something like that.
Will Smith is still making music?
Well, he just recently released a video on Twitter and everyone was just like, hey man, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, it's I Like Pretty Girls. That's what it's called. So I was like, what's it called? It's like, I Like Girls. And I was afraid it was little, and I was like, it's definitely not little. There's no fucking way it's little. I was like, I Like Pretty Girls is what it was, and everyone was talking about like, Will Smith, what are you doing? I'm like, he's making music. He's making music like he was making before, It's just
I'm just kind of shocked he's making music still.
I mean, when you have like all the money in the world, dude, you do you, boo. I
guess if he's happy. Then yeah.
Yeah.
What was the genre?
I mean, I think pop.
Go on.
I don't know. It was so fucking bland. I couldn't tell you what the genre is.
Okay.
Dude. Like R&B, maybe. I don't know. It was funny.
I would give it a listen after this.
Yeah. I Like Pretty Girls, not Little Girls.
I know about that title.
I like pretty girl. Yeah, it was and it was funny was someone pointed out that if the tone shifted, like if it was just a little bit faster or a little bit slower, it actually would have sounded pretty good. But the way that is normal tone, it just feels a little off. It feels a little weird. I thought of Joe Cat like immediately when I saw this fucking video because he made
nice.
Yeah, because he made that yeah. So I love Joe Cat. Joe Cat
that still floors me that he made that video and got basically lambasted and roasted alive for literally no fucking reason.
Nothing floors me anymore. People are unhinged and insane, and I just. I am old. I can't wait until I get to that age where I say something harmless and then some little 19-year-old shit while I'm 50 years old goes, you can't do that. You fucking can't do that. You can't, you can be proceeded. I'll be like, shut the fuck up. You stupid little shit. You don't get shit. And look.
I mean, you can do that now, brother. You can do that now.
I have to. I do that now. But I mean, like,
if you have teen in your age, I do not regard you with any opinion whatsoever.
It's. I'm trying to find like the best way. Like I'm talking about like a couple of years ago, where like someone would say something or do something, and it would be, heinous and shit. And I'm not talking about like a Dr. Disrespect scenario where I'm like, oh yeah, you're a fucking creep. And then everyone was like, he's a fucking creep. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And I nod and I go, I agree. And then you got other people who are like, dude, fucking cancel culture, dude. You got there was one I'm not going to say their name. There was one person who also was canceled, who was just like, I know how this feels. It's just so unfair.
Oh my God.
It's just so unfair how people get treated without evidence. And then like 2 days later, the evidence came out like, oh yeah, you were fucking talking to the fucking, to minors, dipshit. Yep. So there it is.
Yep.
And so for that, like, I'm definitely not talking about that, but there are times where like someone will say something genuinely harmless, right? And then someone will look so deep into it and then try and find something. And that shit is what worries me. That's the shit that actually concerns me, because and here's why. And it's not going into the old rant of just like, you can't say anything anymore. If everyone is to blame, no one's to blame. If you are taking your shot on minor to non-existing like slights that have no impact to the sphere whatsoever.
Yes.
And that's all you're doing. And then a real genuine monstrous action from someone else comes out. And then you start going as heavy on them as you did to the slight. You build this sort of reputation of just like, well, you're just overreacting. And it's like, no, this is where the reaction was correct. Like a Dr. Disrespect thing, that is the correct reaction. I can't even go into like, I don't even want to give an example out of fear that someone's going to be like, get to fucking go after me. But like, it is like, you gotta choose your battle. I've always said that, you really gotta choose the battle, choose the battle. And what happened to Joe Cat was just, in my opinion, just terrible. Like, absolutely
fucking crazy.
I don't understand. I don't get it. People were saying like, how does he make, because he was also getting bullied by these people, you know, like it wasn't even like a call out post. It was just flat out bullying for no reason. And then celebrating the fact that they were getting blocked, or they were getting responded to, or they were getting, it's so terrifying that people will do things just to get a reaction out of someone they believe is more popular than them, and then wearing that as a badge of honor. It's just such a disgusting behavior that is incredibly harmful to this ecosystem that we built, not only to the creator themselves, but also to just like I said, just to the ecosystem of this like creative field that we're in, and it's unfortunate. And
yes, I agree.
And I just, I have very complex feelings towards it, because again, I do feel like people want to be work in absolutes, and shit, just life does not work in absolutes. It just doesn't. Everything cannot have an absolute solution to it. It's just it's very, very, very bad. And it is clout chasing. It's seeking attention. And it's very sad, because I do feel like people do it to earn some sort of like social credit or points.
Oh yeah, it's it's this whole like, look, guys, I also made fun of like a super popular person. I'm really cool. It's like,
it's so pointless. Yeah. What did you do? How are you adding to society? And when I say contribute to society, like obviously I'm not saying something like, you know, you're stopping a war or you're ending world hunger. I mean, like any form of art and expression has a contribution to society. The size of the impact obviously is going to vary depending on a variety of factors, right? But you're making an impact. When you do a Pathfinder show, you are contributing to society through entertainment and just bringing value to the space, you know.
Thanks, brother.
It doesn't matter the size of the impact, but it does matter that you're doing it, you know. When you are bullying a content creator who has a big following and you are upsetting them, and then you are getting blocked or whatever, and then you celebrate that, you are not contributing to society at fuck at all. You're going, look at me. And the last time someone did that I could think of would be a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum, a 6-year-old screaming in a classroom. It has no value. You are just hurting people to make yourself feel good. And if you looked inward, you would probably find that you have a very empty and hollowed life. And I think that you should change that personally.
Nice.
That you should. You
reflect, be better.
Yeah, you absolutely should. You should just keep in mind that at the end of the day, if you are just going online to bully and troll and try to get a big name to fucking recognize you even in a negative light, your life is very empty and meaningless. And I hope my biggest win from that is that you would realize that. And I hope there comes a time where you're sitting in a cold, dark room alone and you go, what am I doing? Because I feel empty and hollow. And you're like, yeah, that's what I want. I want you to I don't want you to hurt yourself. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just want you to have that moment of sinking realization that what you're doing is meaningless and has not made your life better in any fucking way. I think that's the most like, that's the sickest shit you could wish on someone. You're like, I hope you realize how meaningless your life is right now.
literally hit him with the Kratos. We must be better. Like, watch that change a whole motherfucker's life.
You gotta be better, man. You gotta do that shit. And I'm getting to a point where I just, you know, audiences are getting younger. I'm getting older. I'm growing more frustrated and impatient with people who are just doing things for attention. And I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be the person that's like, shut up. You're not funny. Shut up. I was telling you the other, I mean, it's not a big deal. I was telling you before the session, before our episode today, before we started recording, I changed the life point system to vitality points because I was tired of the same Yu-Gi-Oh joke being told over and over. You know, I was just like, oh my God, like,
please stop.
Someone was like, he ripped off Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm like, I definitely did not do that. You stupid idiot. You dumb fuck. You dumb fuck.
Not everything is a ripoff.
Life points have been used in so many medias. It's just Yu-Gi-Oh seems to be the dominant one. Well, I also, like I said, I would have kept the life point, but I'm also using legendary points, and I didn't want 2 LPs, you know. So I went. All right, I'm just do a vitality point, and so it's kind of like a 2 bird 1 stone scenario. And I was pretty happy about that, you know, about doing that. But yeah, it's just I want people need to find something, need to find some meaning, need to have some introspection, need to just look inward and just be like, what the fuck is happening here? What the fuck's going on? I
probably were so easy.
Dude, I started meditating this week.
Meditating?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's been like really good. Like I've been shocked at how good it is. I'm using an app, and right now it's sort of like doing a week of like meditation tutorial, and it's been super interesting because you kind of like take the moment to like listen to these things that you're being told, and you're just going, oh my God, you know, like, oh, that's so fucking interesting. And I'll it'll be like 10 minutes, and I've been doing it in the evening to sort of like wind down, and I'm like, I'm so fucking chill and relaxed. And after I'm done meditating, I put that phone away. I leave it in the bedroom, and I go out in the living room. No phone. Oh my God.
Damn.
Life changing, dude. I mean, so far so good. But I mean, like, there was one part of the meditation that was like, all right, think of a stressful thing, like not a traumatizing thing, but think about something that stressed you out or pissed you off and got you angry. I was like, I don't like this. Like I'm thinking of some stuff. I'm like, like I'm feeling uncomfortable, you know, and they let you like sit in it, and you're just like, this is completely against what I'm supposed to be doing for meditating. I'm supposed to be fucking calming down. And the lesson is like, okay, do you feel that, like, how do you feel? Like, can you describe that feeling in like a temperature or a vibe, or like, you know, what's going on with that? And I'm like, okay, all right. And you're like, now think of something positive, a positive moment that happened recently. Like, what makes you happy? What makes you calm and relax? And I was thinking a bunch of things, and I was thinking of also the vacation I just took and everything. They're like, now, how do you feel when you're thinking about that? I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, you feeling nice and relaxed. And the lesson was, you know, dwelling on stress makes you feel like shit. Dwelling on happy things makes you feel good. So if something stresses you out, like pause, take a moment and try and think of something nice to kind of like push that feeling away. And you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. That was it. That was the whole lesson. I was like, oh my God, that's wild, man. That's really cool. So, but yeah, I mean, someone's looking for something to like kind of calm themselves. You know, people talk about meditation all the time. So far from what I recommend it. It's really interesting because you're like, oh man, I look forward to like a meditation. I look forward to doing that. But also like at the same time, like meditation isn't really work. You know, it's just like, yeah, just take some time out for yourself and just fucking.
I mean, it's improving your mental health.
It's really good. I like it. Also, like I said, like just disconnecting during the evenings have been very helpful, where I just go, here's the last thing I'm doing on my phone. And then I plug it in on my nightstand, and then I just leave it alone. And it's so nice. It's just so comforting not having a thing to like get to, you know, because it is. There were several times where I'm like, oh, what is this? And I immediately like instinctively reached out for my phone. I'm like, oh, it's not here. And you're like, I came to the realization that the phone has kind of become like an appendage of ourselves, like a limb. Like,
terrifying.
Dude, like, I don't know if you've ever had this moment where like your phone's in another room, or you just decide to disconnect, and you just instinctively are like, oh, I need to figure something out. And you reach for the phone. And then there's that moment of shock, because you're like, oh yeah, I put the phone away, but now I feel like kind of silly, you know, that I was like, oh yeah, let me just get my phone. Oh, my phone's not here. And there's a moment where you're just kind of like, why do I feel this way? You know, why
What's
do
happening to me?
Yeah, why do I have this surprised sort of like almost like scared moment where I'm like, where's my phone? It is. I think phones for us have become an extension of us. Have become this sort of like vestigial limb, you know. And when you don't have it, you're looking and you want it, you're just kind of like, oh, well, fuck, what do I
do now?
Kinda, yeah. Where you're like, how do I do this? Or what do I, it's also the same thing where like, your internet goes out and you're like, what, let me check something. Let me, I need to call the internet company. What's their phone number? And then you try to go online to like type a customer service phone number. And you're like, oh wait, I don't have internet.
I looked out of my hands, my phone, basically a brick at this point, and I go, uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there are so many conveniences we're just completely used to now at this point. It's weird. It's wild. It's a little surprising how dependent we've become on the technology around us. I was thinking about, not to get political, but kind of like how history is continuously repeating itself. And I'm like, well, at least we know the outcome of that. And I came to the realization recently, we don't actually know the outcome of what's happening right now, because when this was happening like 100 years ago, right, we didn't have this, like,
oh yeah,
we weren't as connected as we are now, where like someone could just be there to influence you, to move you around a little bit, So I don't actually know what the outcome is going to be, because yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about, definitely talk about that in our Inside the Dumpster, because I do feel like it gets a little political, but technology has added an interesting element to events that would normally be historical events we've already experienced before. Technology is, I feel like, is definitely going to warp that here soon. So we'll see what happens. Crown.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever dealt with a horror story at your TTRPG table?
Yes, I have.
Well, I think we all have. And one of the big things we've got here is a horror story, specifically an RPG horror story I would like to tell you. If you're down to listen, I would love to hear your thoughts about this.
I would certainly like to hear it.
This was an interesting story I found. This of at RPG Horror Stories. It was one of the top stories that were there. I picked it because of the title, because again, as we have said before, when you look at RPG horror stories, you're like, all right, let's scroll through here. Power, gaming DMs, creepy DMs, So, but I feel like the title of this one is going to be interesting for the two of us. And it's titled DM Insta-Killed Characters Because, air quotes, Consequences. Okay.
Interesting. Oh, this is either going to be a player.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, this isn't I'm an asshole. This is actual horror story. Never mind. Go on. Sorry, I was prepped for Am I the Asshole? I was ready to like fight.
Well, no, figure out what do you think this story's going to be? I'd be curious of your thoughts.
Well, I have seen and experienced that some players genuinely believe that they can do no wrong, and that they shouldn't be subject to the consequences of their actions. Or it's there are consequences to my actions, like type of scenarios that happen where they do something obviously heinous or stupid, and are punished for it, rightfully so, and then go, what? Why'd he say fuck me for?
Guys, I thought we were playing a game. What the fuck? I mean, that's yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. We're like, wait, why am I've dealt with players like that. They're like, wait a minute, why are you going after me? You're like, this is
I'm not going after you.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm not.
This isn't targeted, brother. Don't.
Yeah, I've definitely done that before. Sorry, I am very excited for this listening to this AI song about
Dude,
a cowboy and his
it's so
nuts
good.
stuck in a truck. I just saw the title, asking AI to make a hit country song, day 27. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, let's read this story. DM insta-killed characters because consequences. This was a paid game, by the way, which is it's amazing to me that there are paid games. Like, I'm not bashing it. It just sounds so fucking cool that you're like, give me money and I'll run a game. And also at the same time, like, I fucking get it. Getting a game together is time consuming shit. So like, I totally see no fault.
I don't harp on people who do paid games.
No.
Unless it's like 150 per game. And then I'm like, you're not that good.
No,
you're not $150 a game for me to play with you.
For a $200 game or a month game. Yeah, exactly.
Calm down, son.
It's pretty crazy. So this is a paid game. I believe it was about $15 a session, which I personally think is underpaid. Personally,
$15 a session.
Yeah,
is that per person?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I guess it depends on how many players would be. It'd be $15 per person. Okay. If a session lasts, if you got like 4 people,
like 5 people, $75.
2 hours.
2 hours,
maybe 3.
Probably 3. 3.
That's okay.
You're playing maybe once a week.
Yeah, I'm thinking about I'm thinking more about like the hour value. So if you're doing that,
like $300 a month.
That's not bad. About $25. That's about $25 an hour. That ain't bad.
Yeah,
ain't bad.
You do that with your any other job you may have. That's nice and tasty.
That's
unless you kill the shit out of your players and make their experience with you really bad. Then you're kind of
dude. What if you just like kill the players after hour 1? You're like, no refunds.
No refunds. I gotta go now. Oh, my Discord's disconnecting.
Fuck.
Oh.
Dude, I canceled my Spectrum internet because I had a backup Spectrum internet, and I recently got this. I won't say the app name because they ain't paying me. But I recently got this app that kind of let me know like where I've had like reoccurring subscriptions in case I forgot, and there were a few I forgot about. So I'm glad I got that and started canceling them. But one of them I was like, you know what? I have this internet as the Spectrum as backup. It's like cable internet. But I also have a fiber line, and fiber is what I primarily use. But the fiber's been so reliable, I don't use the backup. So I called Spectrum to cancel, and don't like. And this is just as a general like PSA to people: don't be an asshole to the person on the phone. They're not. I know they work for the company, but they aren't the company. Like, don't be a dick to these people who are just trying to make a living, much like you are. You know what I mean? So and they're gonna try and keep your business. They're gonna try and offer you all these things, and you could tell them, don't offer me shit. I'm canceling. They have to try, like as part of their job to read these things off, because if they don't, they get in trouble. So you just let them do their spiel and then go, no, thank you. And that's all you have to fucking do. So I did that. They were like, okay, so what are you doing? I'm canceling. Why are you canceling? This is my backup internet. I don't use it anymore. And they're like, okay, well, since it's your backup internet, what we can do is maybe we can give you a smaller package, and we'll even give you, we'll even take we'll prorate. We'll lower the cost for the month, and we'll give you a little bit of credit for your next month, and then it'll be a lot cheaper. And I went, no, thank you. Like, okay, we can also put you on a like seasonal leave, which means they will temporarily stop charging you essentially for a period of they'll turn off the internet for like a season or two, like 3 to 6 months, and they won't charge you for the 3 to 6 months, and then they'll turn it on. And I went, no, thank you. And they went, okay. So do you want to cancel now or at the end of the month? They said, we do not prorate if you cancel now, which means if you cancel now, we're not giving you your money back. We're keeping the whole month. And I was just like,
evil.
And I was, whatever. Like it's again, companies do not surprise me at the extent of like, oh yeah, well, fuck you. I'm keeping your money. Neener. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, you got 14 days to give us the shit. And I'm like the box and stuff. And I went, okay, whatever. They're like, do you want to wait till the end? I'm like, no, I'd like to cancel it now. Well, we don't all right. Done deal. Accepted. Understood. Thumbs up. Like, I'm done, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was it. Yeah, but it was very interesting how they were like, oh, we can do this. We could prorate this. And when I went, no, just want to cancel. They're like, you want to cancel today? I'm like, yeah. They're like, all right, just so you know, we're not prorating. Not gonna get anybody back. Not gonna get anybody back. You know, like, all right, whatever.
Sure, man. Fucking cancel it.
But they're also like, so what internet service do you use? And I was like, oh, I use this fiber company. I love fiber. I will never go back to cable. Fiber's very reliable. And they were saying, well, we're going to have fiber soon. I'm like, oh, awesome. Cool.
Let me know when you got it.
Yeah, I'll check you out when you get it. And then, personally, I love it because there's a lot of fiber companies now, which means there's competition, which is fucking good.
Very good.
When cable was the play, no competition. Charge what you want, raise what you want, do what you want. And some of these companies were just being heinous with their shit. So I'm looking forward to some goddamn competition. I really am. I really fucking am. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, the story. I believe it was about $15 a session. DM said that action had consequences. I thought, okay, fair. It's really weird. We're setting up this with like, okay, $15. Just so you know, actions have consequences. So you're like, okay, that sounds good to me. Which I think is a fair warning to give people when you're like, yeah.
If I start the game and I go, hey, just so you guys know, this game is lethal and actions have consequences.
Yeah, death's on the table.
And you roll your eyes at me.
Yeah.
And I go, okay.
All right, here we go. And then I put down a six shooter, and you're like, what? And you're like,
I clap it down in front of you, and I go on.
Go on.
It's your turn. You rolled first on initiative. Take the shot.
Take the shot. Quest was to transport a strangely shaped coffin crate to someone deep in the forest with orders not to open it. Along the journey, we started to get hints that there was a live person in there. Concerned, players open the box. The recipient of the box, a giant creature, suddenly leaps down from the trees. The DM says the player's character is crushed underfoot instantly.
Oh!
New character sheet.
Okay, all right.
That's a stupid consequence.
Yeah.
New character sheet. One of our characters arrested for something, and I don't remember it as being a matter of total character dickery. DM says if you all don't come up with the way to break him from the jail in the next few minutes, he's going to die at dawn. We sit around trying to think of something. The character indeed dies at dawn. New character sheet. Our quest is to deliver a palantir. What the hell is that?
A palantir.
Oh, a palantir. What's a palantir?
Palantir is what Saruman is gazing into in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. Our quest to deliver a palantir to someone. Worried, my character tries to take the palantir to the temple for advice. DM says my character feels a sense of dread and considers killing herself as she approaches the temple. Okay, I think this is obviously a turret, and I don't want yet another instant kill. I have a history of attempts as well. Not knowing what else to do, we deliver the palantir. DM shakes their head and says we just doomed the world. So we go to an NPC to ask for advice. The DM tells us to explain in detail what we did. We do. The NPC scolds us harshly. We go to another NPC to ask for advice, and the DM asks us to explain in detail what we did. I say, do we have to tell you again? And he replies, you're not telling me. You're telling NPC. Embarrassed, we tell the story again. The NPC scolds us harshly. DM says we should reconsider telling a lot of people what happened. This is over the span of maybe 4 sessions top. Mid-session, I packed up my stuff and said, I'm not having fun, so I'm leaving, and walked out. Consequences equals I'm a fucking sadist. Ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Ridiculous.
I was gonna be on the, like, I usually lean towards the DM side a little bit.
Ridiculous.
And then he goes, you're crushed instantly, killing your character. I go,
ridiculous.
A fucking asshole, man. What are you doing?
I told you not to open the box. Like, ridiculous, dude. Very fucking ridiculous. That's so stupid. That is a DM trying to power trip. Ridiculous. Fuck off. Fuck off with that shit.
Yeah, that's the I'm in control.
Yep.
He hoo 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 ha ha.
Yeah. Those people are those DMs are the worst, where they're like, I am God of this world, which means I am God of you. And you're like, nope. That's not how that works. You dummy.
I always make the joke, but I never follow through with it. Like if a player gets sassy or something and I go, oh yeah, and I drop the ancient white dragon onto the map and I go on, talk your shit. And then they go, I'm just kidding. And I remove the token. Like, that's what I do. I don't ever go,
yeah,
okay, and your character dies instantly. And they go, what?
Maybe not be so lippy next time.
Yeah, maybe watch your fucking tone.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's what, at the end of the day, it's just the DM trying to do a, like, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, and it just didn't feel like it just didn't feel good. So yeah, that's those consequences. Yeah, don't do any of that. Don't do any of that shit. Yeah. Well, also, it's just like, you know, like when you're saying things, especially dark, as like, you know, unaliving yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all,
be really careful with stuff like that.
You absolutely have to be careful. Well, that's why we have session zeros, to be like, what's the triggers so that we don't do that shit? You know what I mean? But also, there should be like topics that are off, you know, which also includes unaliving yourself. And I think, you know, I was very worried during Curse of Strahd, because we had a character,
that's right,
an NPC do that. And I know that I was like I was thinking, I was like, what is this guy gonna do? And I'm like, I was like, Strahd, the Curse of Strahd, Barovia is a dark fucking place. It is an absolute twisted place where people's minds are gonna be warped and broken. And I feel like that guy at that point was like, I have failed my mission. I do not want Strahd to get me, and did the deed, you know. And I was, fortunately, no one was upset. No viewer. I didn't get scolded by the viewers, and I was very transparent with the content warning in the description for both those episodes. But sometimes you're like, I feel like there's a moment that kind of does that. But also at the same time, I think there's a difference between an NPC kind of like doing that from a story standpoint
versus a player,
and instead of exactly. And I also think with a player as well, you do have to like maybe like you even like pull them aside for a moment to sort of just be like, hey, like this felt really heavy. Are you okay? Is there anything, you know, we could do, or take a break, or et cetera, et cetera. Like, because at the end of the day, it is a game, it's play, and I don't think there's anything wrong to keep your players, you know, have your players have an open line of communication with you if they're having an issue with things that are happening and what's going on. Yeah, I do feel like that's super fucking important and super vital to the table, and that doesn't make, you know, doesn't make your table woke. It doesn't make your table weak. It's just, we're here to have fun. We're here to tell some stories. You know, and if people aren't having fun, then there's a problem at the table that we need to come together and figure that out. You know, it shouldn't be about my enjoyment. It should be your enjoyment. If you're not having fun, let's figure out why that is. And maybe it is a wrong fit. Maybe, you know, and like I said, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That's totally fine. As certain comments have told me, I would never want Brett to be my DM. I was like, great. I don't want to be your DM either.
So I remember inviting you to the table. So that's a great question, man. That's weird.
Never seen you before, nor have I offered you a spot at the table, huh? But all right, cool, man. So yeah, as always, keep a line of communication with your players. It's not just about you. And make sure that they are feeling comfortable with everything that's happening, and they're able to come to you if they have any issues. All right, Crown. Before we wrap up today's episode,
I
think we should play a little Am I the Asshole? What do you think?
Oh, good heavens!
Ooh, it could possibly lead to the bite. Ooh. I love doing this with you because you take this so serious,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love psychoanalyzing people. It's my favorite thing.
So, you know the rules. As a little recap, I will read off 2 stories. One of them will be an asshole. The other one will not be an asshole. These, of course, are voted by the Reddit Am I the Asshole? And you should figure out, you know, you're free to say who you think's the asshole and who is not the asshole. But the goal is to figure out what does Reddit think? Who's the asshole and who's not the asshole. It's always fun. And then we also have the opportunity to earn some bonus points, maybe if you do decide to go in on a big bet. Which we've talked about before. But first, let's figure out who's the asshole and who's not the asshole. I will let you choose the first story. The 2 titles we've got. Am I the asshole for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket?
Ooh. Okay.
Interesting title. And we have, am I the asshole for not going to a friend's 25th birthday celebration after she left my wedding twice?
Okay. I want to hear the daughter story, mostly because I want to know how old. Like, are you robbing from your child who got grandma's $100 bill?
Okay.
Or is this like a 25-year-old? Like, I need to know context for the first one. So I want to listen to the first one.
All right, we'll read the first one. Am I the asshole for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket? Basically, I have a daughter, Emily, 16, female, from a previous marriage. My wife, Sasha, has a son the same age, Mark, 16, male. Mark doesn't stay with us that often. He prefers to stay with his bio dad. That being said, when he is here, I find Mark to be a pretty good kid, polite and respectful. His dad decided to take a trip for work in the last few weeks of school. So Mark's here for a bit. He's out of the house most of the time and doesn't take up much space. He does get kind of grumpy when there's too much going on around him, especially noise. But for that, his favorite thing are these expensive noise-canceling headphones, which he almost always has with him, a present from his dad. Emily's school has already finished, so she's home. The problem is that the room Mark is sometimes has miscellaneous items put in when he's not here, and therefore Emily seems to think it's fair game to go through his stuff. I've told her to stop, but Sasha hasn't been taking it seriously, IMO saying that most of Mark's stuff is easy to replace. The big problem happened when Mark accidentally left his headphones in the room and Emily accidentally snapped them. Mark found out when he came home from school and flipped. He shouted at her, saying she was spoiled without anything to back it up. Loud enough that my wife and I heard it from the other room. Sasha wanted me to calm things down, which I did, but I also told Emily she's replacing them. Thing is, Mark's dad Mark's dad offered have someone get him a new pair immediately. Wait, I guess Mark's dad offered to have someone get him a new pair immediately, and it wasn't my problem. This sentence is weird. I guess Mark's dad went to get it, like got him another one. It said Mark's dad offered.
So Mark's bio dad heard that she snapped it, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll replace it.
That's what
I'll
it
get
sounds
somebody
like.
to replace it."
And it wasn't a problem. I said Emily would pay him back, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. Emily and Sasha think that's unfair since Mark's dad can afford to buy 10 more. But I don't think you get to break someone's stuff and not pay for it. Those aren't the values I was raised with or what I want for my daughter. That being said, I do realize in this case it's kind of unnecessary, and there may be better ways for her to make it up to him. Am I the asshole?
Oh, so he didn't even take her money.
No, I think the
He's
title was
contemplating it.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket? In other words, no, I think he's telling her, like, you're going to pay for this. I think the phrase out of pocket is not a literal phrase. It is a, coin of turn phrase. But essentially it's, you're going to pay for these headphones. And the daughter and the mother is like, she doesn't have to, like, it was an accident. Dad's, the bio dad's fine with it. It's just going to replace it. And he's saying, you did the deed. You gotta pay the consequences. You broke something, so you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that she was warned multiple times not go into that room. Don't take his stuff. Don't touch his stuff.
Yeah.
But she kept doing it to the point where she eventually broke something.
Yes.
So I'm gonna hold my vote to the end, but I'm gonna say not the asshole for that guy.
Okay.
I think he's in the right, and I would do the same thing.
Okay. Here's the second story. Am I the asshole for not going to a friend's 25th birthday celebration after she left my wedding twice? Are you ready?
Yep.
A week ago, I, 25 female, married the love of my life, 24 female, and we had a small ceremony with our families and close friends. For a little perspective, we had 8 guests plus the 2 brides. The ceremony was max 45 minutes, and we only had the photographer for 2 hours. Everything was perfect. We had gone to a conservatory in the area and took pictures inside and out. 2 of our friends, Bailey, 24, and Deb, 25, engaged themselves, started to have their own photo shoot literally in front of us. I cited sheer yes, go Deb, to which she stopped posing and said, damn, that's so embarrassing. We finished couples shots and saw Bailey and Deb were nowhere to be seen. All of our families and other friends were very upset that the 2 of them left, but we just played it off like it was okay, and that is just how they are. The bar after the party was just our friends, and we had rented an area for 2 hours, but the catch was we need to hit a $200 bar tab minimum. Deb and Bailey show up late to the after party, but seem happy to be there. They are talking to our other friends, and Bailey started to play games with us. Deb finds games embarrassing, and they are both drinking. Not a requirement for fun, but they love drinking. About half an hour into the party, Bailey asks us what we'd be doing Friday and to not make plans because it's Deb's birthday. We had been looking to go on a trip that weekend, but it was not planned, so we said that we should be able to go. A few moments later, Deb comes back from the bar and is complaining how the drinks were so expensive. A special cocktail was $12 and a draft beer was $10. A while later, my wife wanted to get food, so we went to go look at a food truck. As she saw there was nothing she'd eat and decided to get Cane's later. We see Bailey and Deb waving us down. Cane's being a chicken joint.
Raising Cane's, it's garbage.
I've never had it, so yeah. Thinking they want food too, we tell them we aren't getting stuff here, and they tell us that a mutual friend was bartending 20 minutes away, so they were going to see her, but would meet us back at the house later. Keep in mind, we live in a major city, and this friend is a bartender, and has been for over a year. When we got back in the bar, one of our other friends, Kay, asked where Deb and Bailey went because they told Kay that they'd be right back. So, of course, being confused, we checked the tab and they had closed their tab. Everyone looked at it fine because we got to drink more and hang out longer with friends from out of town. We finished drinks around 11:30 p.m., only to get a text from Deb saying they aren't coming back to the house with everyone. They are going home. Well, my wife and I decided to go on our last-minute little honeymoon weekend, which so happened to overlap with Deb's birthday, so we weren't able to make it. After letting Deb and Bailey know we could go and why they have basically... After letting Deb and Bailey know we could go and why they have basically ignored both of us in our texts. So, are we the assholes for not going to Deb's birthday after they left our wedding celebration not once, but twice?
Oh, no. I have to pick one to be the ass. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That means Reddit. Oh, Reddit.
Yeah, this might be a Reddit fuckery.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so is it petty? Actually, I wouldn't even say it's petty. No, because it's literally your honeymoon. Fuck.
Did they say they were going to go?
No, I assume it's assumed. Like that you're going to go to your friend's birthday, but also your honeymoon. And also, it doesn't really seem like they're friends.
Yeah, after a half hour into the after party, Bailey asks us what we'd be doing Friday and to not make any plans because it's Deb's birthday. We've been looking to go on a trip that weekend, but it was not planned, so we said that we should be able to go. And then they started complaining about how the drinks were so expensive. And then they wanted to go to a food truck. Bailey and Deb are like, yeah, we want to get food, but we don't want to do it here. We got a mutual friend who's bartending 20 minutes away, but we'll be back at the house later. Only to find out that they actually closed the tab and then later said, yeah, we're not coming back. And then the poster and their wife said, all right, they left the wedding twice, so no, we're not going to go. We're going to do our little honeymoon. We didn't have any plans, but we're just going to do that instead. After letting Deb and Bailey know we could go and why they have basically ignored both of us in our texts. Overlap with Deb's birthday, so we weren't able to make it.
Read that last sentence again.
It's a very hard to understand sentence. Well, my wife and I decided to go on our last minute little honeymoon weekend, which so happened to overlap with Deb's birthday, so we weren't able to make it. After letting Deb and Bailey know we could go and why they have basically ignored both of us and our texts. Is what it said. So it feels like a misspelled sentence.
Huh.
Yeah, after letting Deb and Bailey know that they could probably go. They were like, yeah, we don't have any plans. We'll go. And why they have basically ignored both of us in our texts. And it sounds like they're not responding anyways. It's a hard sentence. It was a really weird sentence.
It's very hard. That's very hard. Shit.
But I think the bottom line here is, I think the TLDR here is...
Oh, fuck. I think I'm going to lose this one. Actually.
You're panicking, dude. Two friends at the wedding. They left the wedding in the after party. Like they left twice, essentially. And I guess after the second time when they left, they were like, we'll be back, but they closed the tab. So they had no intention of going back.
Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. I'm gonna say the first one is not the asshole. And I'm gonna say honestly, what was the all assholes here or something like that?
Okay. So you're saying, oh, I know what you're saying. So, okay, first of all, before we do that, who's the asshole and who's not the asshole?
Okay. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna say the dad's not the asshole.
Okay.
And the second one is the asshole.
Okay. And then the next question I come up with, which keep in mind, not all stories are going to have this. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make your not the asshole? Do you want to upgrade that to no assholes here? Or do you want to upgrade the asshole to everyone sucks? Keep in mind, if you do this and you are incorrect, you lose.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. You're going for double points. You're going for the brag. But if you're feeling a little scared and you don't want to go, you don't want to push forward and just go for the normal amount of points.
No, I'm saying first one, not the asshole. Second one, the asshole. But the second one is everybody sucks.
So you are going
I'm doubling down.
Okay. Which means if this is correct, you're going to get a bonus point. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Crowned. Am I the asshole for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket? Reddit said, not the asshole.
Let's fucking go.
Am I the asshole for not going to my friend's 25th birthday celebration and she left my wedding twice? Reddit said, everyone sucks. You were correct.
Oh, let's fucking go, baby.
2 points. Double point, baby. A double. A fucking double. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Holy shit. He did it.
I like psychoanalyzing people. What can I say?
Fucking did it. He even went in for the... You would have just got the single point if you just said asshole. You went in for everyone sucks and got a double point.
The issue with the second one was that it was kind of confusing.
It was so badly written.
But like,
keep in mind, this wasn't like I just picked some random. This was like upvoted 3.1K, 560 comments. She wrote it terribly. Crown, baby.
Right.
The champion, dude. The champion.
I want to know if there are any edits or like add-ons. I kind of want to.
Nothing.
Jesus Christ.
Am I the asshole for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket? The top response said, I'm sorry, but there is no way a 16-year-old snapshot headphones accidentally, especially good quality noise canceling ones. I think your daughter knew exactly what she was doing. She probably knew the importance to him too. She should pay back regardless. She should apologize sincerely, and then you all clean his room out for a while. He is not present. It is locked. He gets the key, not the asshole.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the moment that it was like she went in and she snapped the headphones, I was like, okay, so you obviously hate your sibling, and or have had a fight with your sibling. Because I can tell you right now, anytime I've had like a conflict with my sibling, and
you have
something
siblings?
Broke, I have a sister.
Oh. We don't have to go into it.
I have a sister who's a cunt.
I guess you're not on good terms with your sister, is what I'm going to say.
No, I am not.
I also have a sister. That's it.
I'm waiting for the. Oh, that's it.
No,
okay.
I'm on good terms with my sister.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Must be nice.
She actually wrote. She actually wrote for Fingers Forge.
Damn.
She wrote. Her entries are going to be the Clockwork Spider, which I thought was a good addition, and the Moral Mind, which was just a terrific fucking name for a mushroom creature. And then I was just like, damn. And
that's sick.
And yeah, she currently, she wasn't able to continue writing because she actually started her own business selling, it's hard to explain, decorative skulls. So she'll purchase like animal skulls and then like paint them and like add like beads and embroiders and things like that. So you'll get like she'll have like you'll get like these different animal skulls. She'll paint them up, and there's a market for it. People fucking love it, and they're spending.
I mean, that sounds kind of sick.
Yeah. So it's good shit. I don't know if she has an Etsy. I think she has an Etsy. I don't know it off the top of my head, unfortunately. So sorry about that. So I definitely will plug it. I don't. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what the business is. So, or I don't know where the Etsy is. But yeah, it does well, and I think she's got like a little shop in like a zoo now or something where she sells these things. Yeah, she's doing great.
Oh, that's kind of fucking cool.
She's doing. It's a unique bit. It's so cool. But yeah, she's doing great. She's making a hell of a living off of it right now, apparently. So yeah, I was like, good on you. So
well, there has been this like kind of uptick or resurgence in like especially Etsy, because everything on Etsy is fucking AI now, aside from like handmade products.
Are you
handmade really the only thing, dude. Handmade is really the only thing you can trust on Etsy anymore.
So stupid.
If it's a digital project, 90% of that shit is AI. So there's been a huge uptick in like buying stuff from Etsy if it's physical, because you know that thing is going to be at least handmade.
Mm-hmm.
Or cheaply made in a factory somewhere. But still made.
I'm trying to see if I can randomly find. No, I can't. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, unfortunately. Bad brother. So well, we were gonna wrap things up, Crown, but it looks like we're going into a little bit of overtime because we met our super chat goal.
Oh,
hell yeah. Let's fucking go. So because I am gonna look for this, I'm gonna try and find this store if I can find it. But yeah, so Crowned, would you like to, first of all, your shitty DM story, you said it was your first game, correct?
First game.
Any warnings, any content warnings we need to worry about?
Gaslighting.
Okay.
Gaslighting.
Ooh, fun. All right. So we've got a gaslighty DM. So if, and I get it. Look, I get it. Fucking gaslighting's the worst. It can really fuck with you. So if you are, if that's something that you are not comfortable with, like I said, this is sort of like the after show of today's episode. We're going to wrap up after this anyways. Thank you for watching. You are free to exit the premises. But with that said, Mr. Crown DM, why don't you share us this shitty DM story of yours?
So, back in, I want to say 2016, 2017, when I was first getting into Dungeons and Dragons, I met my first ever dungeon master at the corner store right next to my apartment. The way that I met this gentleman was I literally was in line buying NOS Energy, and I saw him with a like handmade binder that said the DM's Guide. And it was like all of his like homebrew stuff and everything like that. And I was like, oh, you play Dungeons and Dragons. And he was like, oh, would you like to play Dungeons and Dragons? And I said, yes, that sounds amazing. So we went across the store to the subway during his lunch break, and we rolled some characters. And the character I made was Orin Bloodforge. He was a dwarf champion fighter. Badass dude. Super great. We get together a team. The team consists of the DM, the DM's girlfriend, the manager of the store, the assistant manager of the store, me, and my roommate.
Okay.
So almost everybody here, aside from the girlfriend and my roommate, work at this place, at this store. We all know each other. We've basically fudged the schedule so we can all have D&D off.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of everybody else.
I mean, that's the best. That's when you know you got something good going on.
I agree. Our party consists of a dwarf fighter, a half-elf sorcerer, a human warlock, and a succubus cleric.
Okay.
We're playing 5th edition.
Okay.
And my friend is playing a tiefling monk.
Okay.
We get pretty far into this game. We are, I would say, about 6 months into this game so far. We've done a ton of adventures. We're meeting up every weekend. It's this whole ordeal. Everything's great. We even I start introducing role play into the game. It used to just be, I roll to attack. Here's my damage. Here's this. I start role playing. Suddenly everybody starts role playing. Now we're into this like theatrical style game. It's awesome. Having a great fucking time. And suddenly our warlock, the manager of the store, stops showing up. And we're like, oh, where is such and such? Where's the warlock? You know, we're on his quest right now. Like we're doing his story. And the DM's like, it's fine. You know, he's busy doing stuff. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And I, for a while, for like a month, don't have a schedule that lines up with the manager.
Okay.
He's gone from work before I can get there. After like a month, I finally managed to catch him on his way out from the store. And I found out that he was leaving work early to avoid us. And I finally caught him. I finally like cornered him at his car. And I was like, dude, where the hell have you been? We've been wanting you at the game. Where the hell are you? And he's like, that's not what the DM said. And I said, we were like, I was fucking floored. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's what the DM said. Dude, we were on your quest. And he's like, he had this like kind of moment where you could see he was like tensed up on guard. And then you can kind of see this like slow dawning realization where he's like, the DM told me that you all got together and said you didn't want to play with me anymore. And I went, what the fuck are you talking about? And we had found out that the DM, for some reason or whatever, had went to the warlock and was like, hey, we talked as a group and decided that we don't want you in the game anymore. And the only reason I found out is because I managed to catch the warlock before he left work. I then went with the warlock to the DM and was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about that you said you talked to everybody? Even his girlfriend was surprised. And we found out the reason is because he didn't like the warlock as a character.
As a character?
As a character concept.
Oh, that's
didn't
the
like him as a
worst.
character concept. They eventually made up. They talked it out.
Yeah.
But that warlock's like, I can never play in your table again.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust you anymore.
Yeah. As they should.
And it basically like that began the fracture.
Man.
So once that happened, we kept playing. I kept trying to like smooth things over because we had a thing going, right? It was like this whole shtick, but eventually, you know, that he stopped like the DM stopped working at the store. The assistant manager got moved to the manager position. The manager left to a different store.
Right.
Like it was a whole ordeal. And then once the DM had a heart attack and survived, he became a very different person from there, and that basically shattered our friend group.
Oh god.
That was basically the final nail in the coffin, because he went from being a somewhat reasonable person to being like, I am God. I am ordained to rule the world. I make everything, and talking with dead seriousness in his voice.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, like genuine like I am God himself returned to the earth.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And that's how my first ever D&D group fell apart.
What a fucking roller coaster, dude.
Yeah, dude.
What a goddamn roller coaster ride. Holy
it's because of him that I attempt to be better all the time.
Of course. Absolutely. The worst DMs will make you a better DM. And it does suck to say, like, oh, yeah, we learn from other people's fuck ups, right? But, like, yeah, man. Like, absolutely. Dude. So fucked. So fucked.
Yeah, man. That was the most heartbreaking thing because I really enjoyed the Warlock.
Yeah.
He was like probably one of the better like lawful evil characters that I had played with.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was along with the party because our goals aligned, and there were some times where he was like kind of a little pushback against the party for trying to do too many good things, but he still went along with us and was doing his own thing on the side. So he was like helping the party achieve their goal, but also kind of doing some nefarious things on the side without like impacting the party too greatly. Yeah. It was so much fun. I do not understand why the DM hated that character.
I love evil characters who aren't being an active thorn in the party side.
Agreed.
I feel like it's very easy, like as a lawful good paladin or a lawful evil warlock, to just be like the thorn in the player side. And it's very good to be like, our goals align, even if our ideals do not. Like that sort of unsteady alliance. That's very, very good. Very good. So yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks for letting me.
Great story. Great story all around. Everyone, thank you guys so much for watching and listening today. If you'd like to support what we do, you can be a YouTube member over at our Dumpster Delvers YouTube channel. You can also support us by joining us on Patreon, patreon.com/dumpsterdelvers, where you get MP3 access to our episodes. Depending on what tier you are, you all could also get access to our Inside the Dumpster, which is our sort of after show that we do not air on Twitch or YouTube, where we just kind of shoot the shit and talk about whatever we want to talk about. Last week we talked about, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about normal gummies and nothing else to add to that. And today we are probably going to light that dumpster on fire with current events. But these are definitely things that we kind of save for the after show. So if you want to support us there and get access to the Inside the Dumpster, you can do that. If you want to spend a little bit of extra money, you can watch it as a video episode, and that's also fun to do. And if you want to join Grandma's Garage Sale and really go hog wild, you can, where you get to do a monthly AMA where you can ask us anything. We will answer it for you. And we do lovely end of session shout outs like we're doing right now for, let's see, we've got the inverted human who is squelching, writhing, screaming, etc., which was translated to Gee Willikers, another great episode for the podcast.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Hey, I appreciate the support, inverted human. You could squelch all you want. Yeah, very good. And Burning Jackal, who slept for 17 hours straight yesterday, but will definitely be ready for the episode today. Hope Brett had a wonderful vacation, that we hear his favorite things he did. Nope, didn't talk about it one bit. So, but it was a very good time. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, we'll see you guys the next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.